Hi, I'm Bella Hahn, and welcome to The Birth of Reason. This is the show where we explore the stories, voices, and art that illuminate the human experience. Today we reflect on the forces that shape our lives, faith, belief, and life-altering events, and how they can inspire compassion, resilience, and connection across differences. At the center of this episode is a striking original sculpture by Judi Weisbart, a globe posed on a Grecian pedestal representing our shared world. Encircling it are twisted wires and jagged edges, suggesting danger, tension, and the sharp challenges humanity faces.
The people of God must heed the great teachings. Love one another.
Hi, it's Judi Weisbart again, the artist and activist, the visionary, that's what I'm going to call myself now, the visionary of the birth of reason. We need to discuss the birth of reason a little at some point, but right now I'm going to discuss something else, which to me is totally unreasonable, which is end the ancient feuds. The people of God must believe in the teachings. The teachings of all are love one another. How come that doesn't happen? I grew up in two religions, but even in those religions, there were differences, which fascinated me. Like, as I've said before, my mother was born in Liverpool, England, and I grew up there for about 9 years of my life. And my grandmother had hate for Catholics because she was a Protestant. WTF? How can you hate someone who basically is the same religion because you believe in Jesus, and yet you get to hate that person? Makes no sense. My mother taught me the best things. So my mother's teaching was, not all of you will agree with this teaching, but it was my teaching, and I'm going to give it to you. All religions, no matter what, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, any of them, were created by men to control money, power, real estate, and definitely women. God is not happy with how his name is used, or her name, and in fact, very unhappy with the wars that are done in his name. That being said, that's what I was taught, and I kind of believe it. Women are belittled in all religions. We are never given position, more so in modern times. But still, kind of weird, isn't it? That we're half the population and religion gets to belittle us? Makes no sense. So, this religious one that I have is, once again, a globe, because we're in the World Series. The world is on a bronze base, and in the bottom of the base, there's actually a small motor, and it stands on a Corinthian column also. But in the base of the metal piece, there's actually a little motor, and the motor makes the world go round. But around this base and around the earth and surrounding the whole thing is rusted barbed wire. And when I turn on this little motor, the barbed wire shakes. And attached to the barbed wire is a cross and a sign of Islam and a Buddha and a yin-yang and all of the different major religions. And all of them tremble because all of them are frightened of each other because they're all hateful to one another. How can you be hateful when you supposedly believe in a higher being? I don't get it. And I think it's about time we all admitted that it's nonsense. Give everyone the right to believe what they believe as long as they think that you have the right, you have the right to believe what you believe. And let's live in harmony and understanding of each other. I don't agree with a lot of things that religion promotes. I really don't. I think that it, in some ways, is the great evils of our world. But I do agree with community and caring for the sick and the hungry and being there to take care of your community. That's what religion does in the best of ways, and what we have to really honor about all religions. I have a Muslim friend. I used to be in a Muslim, Christian, Jewish organization that were women, actually, who were trying to find peace. It was after I was in Geneva at the Global Women's Peace Initiative, by the way, where the Birth of Reason symbol came from. I'm going to tell you that story too. But this story is about my friend Afaf, who came to a meeting that we were at. And at dinner time, she says, I have to leave for a while. And I said, where are you going? And she said, to pray. And I said, well, isn't that the point of our meetings, that we know each other's religions so that we can support each other? She said, yes. I said, well, then I want to pray with you. So I went and prayed with her, and at the end, she went like this. I said, what was that? And she said, I was thanking the two angels for taking my word to God and for being with me during my prayer. I thought that was so cool. I now know something about Islam that I didn't know. It's not hateful. It's not vengeful. They're not trying to kill us. They're thanking the angels. Please, everybody, would you just look at what we try to teach our children and teach ourselves? Be kind and be loving. Be understanding that we all have different values and different ideas about what the world is made up of, but we all want the best for each other. And if there is a God, and if we actually speak to him in prayer, or her, please ask her that she opens our hearts to kindness and love and understanding of each other's differences. In doing so, we can start a movement that will make a difference, because everyone has their own belief and everyone has a right to it. And I hope that this little part of my show has given you a different way to look at those people of different faiths and know that it's just a small part of who we are as a people. I love you. I send you prayers and blessings and the gift of true equanimity and understanding that each and every one of us have a heart that understands and a mind that sometimes controls the understanding. Be well, everyone. Take care. Talk to you again soon. Keep on writing little notes to me at the bottom of this and telling me what you think. And I know some of you are going to be really mad at me for what I've said today. Those of you who believe so strongly that your religion is right are going to have a hard time, in the same way that my grandmother had a hard time with Catholics. But the truth is, we're all one people. We have one power, and it comes from really, really strong belief in justice and love and peace. Peace to you.
Next, we shine a light on a young artist whose creativity is reshaping her community. Grace Fisher, a gifted composer and visual artist, is also a person with a disability. Through the Grace Fisher Foundation and her Inclusive Arts Clubhouse in Santa Barbara, she provides accessible artistic programs for children and adults of all abilities. Grace's art, both painting and music composition, celebrates resilience, inclusivity, and joy. Her work embodies the message at the heart of today's episode. We are all part of one human family, and our differences are opportunities for connection and creativity, not division.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm excited to talk to you.
And I'm excited to talk to you, though I'm not going to talk to you for long, but I did want to come on the show for just 2 minutes to welcome the beautiful and wonderful Grace Fisher, everybody. This woman is magnificent and is going to tell us about her foundation and her world and why, as an artist, she chose to start this amazing playhouse.
Well, thank you. I'm just really excited to be here. But yeah.
Terrific. I'll see you later.
Hi, I'm Sierra. I'm here at the Inclusive Arts Clubhouse of the Grace Fisher Foundation, and I'm surrounded by incredible colors and incredible art. And I'm also here with the incredible Grace Fisher. Hi.
Hello, great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. And great to be here in this amazing, inclusive, and artistic space that you've created. Where are we? What is this?
We are at the Inclusive Arts Clubhouse here in California, and it's a space that I opened a little over a year and a half ago, and it's really special to our community here, and one of my favorite places in the world.
I think it's becoming one of my favorite places too. There's Disney art here. There's art from many different ages and different ability levels. So I know it's very important to you because Santa Barbara is such an amazing place and the art community is so amazing. But you also provide something that maybe no one else is offering, which is a space for people and children of different ability levels to come and make art. Why is that so important?
Well, first of all, it's the Inclusive Arts Clubhouse. So it is, of course, for kids and people with disabilities. But we say all abilities because it's a space where you're not focused on your differences or whatever. You're focused on what you're creating and the art that is inside of yourself. So yeah, we like to say all abilities because it's for everyone, regardless of age or ability or color of your hair.
Yeah, exactly. All people, right? And I get a lot out of art too. I mean, I do art, but not professionally, just because I feel like it's such good therapy. Like it's so good to get all of my thoughts and feelings out onto the paper or whether I'm dancing. How do you see the students that come in? How does having a space where they feel welcome and they create their art, how does that help them that you see?
A lot of times with the arts, you don't really know what you're capable of until you're invited. And so the Inclusive Arts Clubhouse, we give everyone that invitation to create. And I think when you're invited and you feel included, that is just the first step in being able to work together and make the world a better place.
Yeah, I like that word invitation.
Yeah.
Like inviting someone who has a different experience level than you, ability level than you, and inviting them into this space. You've sent out a lot of invitations to the Santa Barbara community. And so many people have come into this clubhouse and done amazing things. You also have done amazing things. At the Illuminate Film Festival, you've got a documentary. What's one thing that you're really proud of that's happened to you in the past few years? Because I know you've done a lot.
I'm really proud of giving people opportunities. I think I've had a lot of opportunities in my life, and I feel very proud that I'm able to create opportunities for other people, other kids to create.
So for our audience that may not know, you've had a long history and a lot of change has happened to you in your life, and the way that you've been able to express yourself as an artist has, by necessity, needed to change. I've seen some of your amazing artworks here, and my understanding is that you paint with using the paintbrush in your mouth. Can you tell us about what happened, your medical history that changed a lot of your trajectory, and how you came to find that you could still make art and express yourself despite what happened to you?
So I'm 27 right now, and when I was 17 years old, a really bizarre virus attacked my spinal cord. So I went from completely typical teenager to paralyzed from the neck down, all within a matter of hours. And prior to that, I was a really high-level musician, and I knew music was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And so, of course, yeah, that was really hard to lose all of that all at once. I've always been creative, but my art my art medium has changed from music, really, to composing and also mouth painting. So it's all inside of me now, but just in a different way.
So as we continue to make art, despite what happens to us, I wanted to know your unique take on whether or not you're feeling sad or anxious, maybe even angry, and channeling that through your art. Have you found that to be beneficial? Do you write or write music and make art with feelings that you must get out?
Art and music have a really special way to keep you in the moment, and this was something that I felt a lot like initially when I was in rehab and stuff, but you can get really focused on the anxieties of what might happen tomorrow, and then also feeling sad about what you've lost. And so art and music has really been a way for me to stay in the moment and not focus on those losses or anxieties. And then I think, like, when you see something that you work so hard on in something that you're proud of, those anxieties or losses become something that you don't really care about anymore.
Yeah, they get smaller, right?
Yeah, smaller, yeah.
I like your perspective that it keeps you in the moment, because anxiety is worrying about the future and depression is worrying about the past and maybe what was lost. But you say that art keeps you in the present.
Yeah.
Why is that important for your students to stay in the present and stay connected to themselves?
Creating art is a way to stay, or to be in the present in a positive way, because there are a lot of present things that you could be spending your time doing, and art is just one way.
Yeah. And the world makes me think, one of the reasons we have this show, we really hope that we can bridge the connection between art and activism. And I think the Grace Fisher Foundation and the Inclusive Arts Clubhouse is an incredible example. I mean, it's literally at the intersection of activism and art. Why is activism in the arts so important?
I think making art is a good way to advocate in maybe a more receptive way.
Yeah.
In a way that people could connect to.
What has been the biggest surprise with you creating the Grace Fisher Foundation and the Clubhouse of the support that you've got? What's been the biggest surprise?
Yeah, I'm surprised with the support that we've gotten from the community. I always have a hard time asking for things, and so it does make it, I mean, when you're just given an overwhelming amount of support, but you always need support.
Yeah.
You always need to ask in order to receive.
The Santa Barbara community loves you and loves what you do. What's been the biggest surprise with the support that you've gotten?
So we have this amazing place, the Clubhouse here, and we have a room in the back called the Hidden Haven, and this woman came by for the opening, and she was like, wow, this is a really incredible little sensory room. It would be awesome if you could recreate similar spaces around the community and in other schools and community places. And so it's been really fun for me to be able to curate these spaces for the community at no cost to us.
That's amazing.
So yeah, she came in and she was like, we want to help you make these in Santa Barbara. And so I feel like that's been a really amazing surprise.
So let's go back to your art piece, because this is a show about art. What's one art piece that you've done recently that you've been very proud of?
So Circle of Grace is a short film that we made. And that was really special because it incorporated my music, my art, and kind of storytelling all in one. And I feel like film is really amazing and has, it's capable of telling story in a way that not just music, art, or just one art form could really communicate.
Yeah. Cool. Grace, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And even more broadly, thank you for making Santa Barbara and the world at large a more artistic, creative, and inclusive space. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Jerry White is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, landmine survivor, interfaith leader, and educator. After losing his leg to a landmine while studying in Jerusalem, Jerry dedicated his life to empowering survivors of conflict and advocating for peace. He co-founded Survivor Corps and played a key role in the international campaign to ban landmines, working alongside Princess Diana and other global leaders. Jerry also created the course, Reclaiming Your Power to Flourish, a guide for aspiring leaders and philanthropic advisors who want to make lasting impact. Using his Vibrate framework, vision, intention, balance, resilience, alignment, trust, and enjoyment, he teaches changemakers how to live purposefully and create positive transformation in their communities. Jerry's work is a testament to how courage and vision can transcend barriers. To learn more about his programs and teachings, including Reclaiming Your Power to Flourish, please visit his website for more information. If his story inspires you, consider how you might apply the principles of Vibrate in your own life and leadership journey.
Hello, Jerry White, and how are you today?
Hello, Judy. I am great. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that you're with us. Thank you so much for being with us as one of our incredible humans. Today, we're going to be talking about religion. And I'm going to start, though, with something that no one can even imagine that I am lucky enough to have on my show right now, which is we have a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I wanted to talk to you a little about that. I know you received it in coordination with Princess Diana. And I'd like to know what that moment was like for you and why you were receiving it for that reason.
Right. So when I was 20 years old, I was a student at Brown University and took my junior year to travel in Israel. And I went camping in the north, and it's a long story, but I end up stepping on a landmine. I lose my right leg, and I spent 6 months in a hospital in Israel. So I'm not Jewish. I'm from an Irish Catholic family in Boston. So it was quite a shock to the body and the system and the life plan. So you fast forward from that moment in Israel, where I didn't even know what a landmine was until I maimed me and I lost my leg, to about 10 years later, when I learned that I was working on weapons of mass destruction, and someone said that landmines are called weapons of mass destruction in slow motion. They've killed more people than nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons combined. So, with
Really?
your experience, Jerry, why don't you get involved in this new international campaign to ban landmines? So, to be clear, I share in the Nobel Peace Prize because most change-making movements are team efforts, right? It's a team sport. So there are 1,200 organizations in over 120 countries, and our coordinator, Judi Williams. But we were known as the first we birthed the survivor group, so Landmine Survivors Network, with my co-founder, Ken Rutherford, and survivors around the world increased our voices and then were amplified by the Princess of Wales and her vast celebrity and iconic compassion. She was able to really just take us to a new tipping point and level in the campaign. So that was 1997 that I call the year of the landmine, the year of the Nobel Prize. So we were all, so when we were awarded the prize, it was early on. We had just worked on negotiating the International Mine Ban Treaty to ban the weapon, demine minefields around the world, and destroy stockpiles, as well as our big contribution is helping survivors of the weapon all around the world. That was in December 1997, and from the get-go, over 120 countries came and signed this treaty. And then shortly thereafter, we negotiated and were heading to Oslo to celebrate the Nobel Peace Prize, which I had mixed feelings about actually. Sometimes it feels, I'm sure others, including President Obama or others, felt that it might be a little premature, like we're just getting going. We haven't done the demining of a mind-free world. So it takes a while. So you never feel satisfied, I think, as an entrepreneurial or social impact leader because the work is always there.
So I love the fact that you felt that it wasn't finished because it wasn't. And I think many of the things that we do for peace are never finished. Otherwise, we would have peace. I am blown away with what you can get done in one lifetime. But what I really want to know is what inspires you to do all of that? And what is this moment in the history that is a little dark and a little prophetic in a way about what can happen when things start going off the tracks? What do you do to inspire yourself and make this a time of joy and of success and of getting to where you want to go?
Hmm. It's such a good question. And at 62, you'd think I'd have a quick answer. So I've had this sort of Forrest Gump life of meeting incredible people and having the opportunity to work on incredible treaties and change making that are affecting millions of lives. So it sounds like immodesty. But at the same time, I think the short answer I want to say is just light, and burning, like the fire for justice, for the hope for something better, and the source of light and energy that feels divine or spirit led. So I would say for me, it's somewhere deep inside me and connected to all consciousness and love and light that it motivates me. And I find that I have enormous amounts of energy for good in the world. Um, so I guess that's the source. It's an inspiration of spirit. And like philanthropy, the definition, of course, is love of humanity. You have to love people and love the planet. And I think I have a lot of love for that. And so that keeps me going. It fuels my engine.
I looked at all religions in a very different way, but most people are siloed from birth. And I'm wondering how we can open that for them and you can give them some wisdom in that arena.
I think it's just like when Abraham left his comfort zone and the command was Lech Lecha, like get out of your zip code, your comfort zone, and go to a place where I will show you yourself. Or then that's either a promised land or somewhere promised inside. So I think that we're on a journey or a pilgrimage of sorts, all of us, and it's not supposed to be comfortable. This isn't glamping, it's real life. And there's lots of minefields along the way and barbed wire as your sculpture shows up and lots of obstacles to peace and justice. So I'm someone who I'd say like, I don't think feuding's bad. I think violence is bad. So in fact, the letting people live in groups, have the freedom to believe what they believe, do the rituals and behaviors that they choose that are not hurting others. So I don't even care if you think I believe wrongly, you think I'm going to hell, but you don't have permission to push me into hell. So yesh gvul, as they say in Hebrew, like there is a border and a boundary that the ocean only goes so far. So the freedom is be yourself. You don't have to water down yourself. If you're a fundamental evangelical Christian or Muslim, like be more so at a certain level because it's your journey. But that doesn't mean that you can rob the freedoms or word to violence. So United Religions Initiative, I had the privilege of leading, which is the largest grassroots interfaith organization in the world. And that breaks it down to just people of different faiths, like get 7 people together, 3 different faiths, and do something together in your backyard. So even though you're going vertical in your faith, a deeper Christian, deeper Jewish, whatever it is, you deepen, you also go horizontal because you're challenged by other people's faiths. You learn from it and they are interdependent and they teach and share wisdom together. So I think there's both your vertical work, your horizontal embrace, and that helps for reducing violence in the world. So I believe it's not airy-fairy, it's not rainbow, it's actual relationships. And it's a dysfunctional, feuding family with sibling rivalries and religions around the world. And that's okay. No one is watering down a gauzy, watered down, harmonious rainbow. It's not theoretical or conceptual. It is where we are on the earth walking together. And how do we navigate our difficult conversations and our conflicts and feuds to make sure that they don't end up to be dysfunctional violence and fighting?
That is a wonderful answer. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all those who are viewing this and hopefully understand their position in the world to do that vertical and the horizontal, become deeper with yourself and become even more encompassing of others.
Thanks, Judi, and everyone has their part to contribute, and I appreciate you very much.
From Jerry's life and teachings to Grace's inspiring artistry, today's episode reminds us that compassion, inclusion, and mindful action can heal and foster a more unified world. Whether through leadership, philanthropy, or creative expression, each of us has the power to make an impact that resonates far beyond ourselves. If you are moved by today's stories, we encourage you to engage with the causes and programs that inspire change. Connect with Jerry White's work through his Vibrate framework, and explore the Grace Fisher Foundation to support inclusive arts in your community. And remember, love, creativity, and empathy are not just ideals, but actionable steps we can take every day to end the ancient feuds and honor the shared humanity in all of us. Thank you.